What's good, everybody? We are here. Some of us prepared, some of us not exactly social distancing, as you can see. This is my podcast now. It's over. Now, welcome to EX Saturdays. We're back. We are going to be taking a little bit of a different format. It's been a while since we've been here, but we wanted to jump back in. It's been one hell of a summer, to say the least. So there's a lot of stuff to talk about. I think the last time we jumped in was like at the end of May or something like that. So
Oh wow. Wow.
Yeah.
That's a long time ago.
I was gonna wear the combo breaker gear. I didn't know you guys would see. This is what I'm talking about. Anyway,
who's ready now? You know?
What do you?
Anyway.
All right, you know what? Anyway, so we're here. We're going to be talking about a couple of topics. Just a kind of a FYI, we will be delving a little bit more into just the full realm of gaming. Kind of talking about our experiences with some of the things we've been doing. Given the pandemic, a lot of us have been kind of venturing out, trying out some different stuff, and we wanted to share that with everyone here as well. So. Let's do some introductions in case you're new and don't know who we are. I'm Dynamite. I do commentary for Low Kick, and I really just pass the buck a lot to one Ham Jams when it comes to commentary recruiting. So I'll pass it over to him to introduce himself.
I'm Ham Jams. I'm out there existing. He would be correct in that sense. Recruiting people for commentary is by far one of the most painful experiences ever, and that's a topic I'm going to bring up later in general, due to some earlier events in the week in something that I've been trying to figure out in the FGC since I started doing commentary in the first place. I like playing video games, and I'm addicted to Final Fantasy 14.
What?
We're going to talk about that too, but
Yeah, that's gonna be one of my topics.
That's going to be an off-stream conversation.
It's going to be everybody's topic.
That's
Seth, you want to intro yourself a little bit?
Yeah. For the newer listeners or any regular listeners who is probably not really aware who I am, I'm Seth. I am Low
Hot
Kick's.
Boy.
Okay, Hot Boy.
I am the true role I have here is Low Kick editor.
Okay, Cholo.
Which does kind of cover a broad spectrum of things. So I'm responsible for getting the VODs out to YouTube, so that way you guys can, obviously we can expand our scope and you guys can know who we are. I do the LKO recaps. I'm also one of the streamers for Low Kick Online, so most of the production stuff you see happening, if you ever see a smooth ass show, it's probably me.
Yeah, that's definitely something we should both mention. Everybody here is a TO.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, that's true.
We're all TO.
Everybody here is a TO. I'm also a streamer. Basically, if you see Low Kick attached to a name, they run a bracket at some point in the week.
Yeah, so we all kind of cover broad roles, but those are mine. So that's it. I also sometimes do commentary for Street Fighter V, but that's neither here nor there.
You need to be doing more of that, but
there are
right.
so many
get on you.
better ones. All right, anyway, that's me. Thanks, Dan.
Wow.
Be like that.
Yo, this is CoffeeZilla. Holy shit.
I made Dom some really strong ass coffee.
Yeah, there was some powerful coffee. I actually used to be a tea drinker, and then the pandemic hit and stress kicked up, and now I'm a coffee drinker. So, thank you, 2020. Yeah,
hey, let's go. Hey, 2020.
Yo, can I get a 2020 fucking sucks in the chat?
Let's get a button. Let's get a button of 2020.
We need
sucks.
just a Nightbot command.
Yeah, just in case you need to remind it. 2020.
We'll leave it on when we stream tournaments.
Speaking of 2020,
we're going to just go over kind of what each of us have been doing, what we've been playing, fighting game or not. If you also have been, doing some things gaming related, fighting games or otherwise, over the summer, go ahead and hit up the chat and let us know, and we might pull that in for a conversation topic as well. But starting off with myself, I have been playing a lot of things over the summer. Definitely took some time off from pretty much all fighting games, except Street Fighter V. There was a stint like a month and a half where I was playing like a lot of Street Fighter V.
And it made me so happy, dude.
I enjoyed it actually. Season 5 was pretty enjoyable. I'm not gonna talk about any character, Joan. That's not true. So Ryu,
Yo,
I
Sagata's
didn't pick
bottom
Ryu.
3. That's crazy.
Please stop.
Please
Yo,
stop.
I can't
Please
believe
no.
Sanford went on a stream and lied for 3.5 hours.
Oh, he's talking
Please
about the smug tier list.
Nobody watched it.
we'll
I
get-
asked
we'll get to
everybody
that.
to watch
We'll get
this
to it.
damn tier list, and everybody said,
We're getting to it now, apparently.
I'm
No,
gonna do
we'll
it.
get to it in a second. I'm not done. It's my turn. So I played a lot of Street Fighter V in the beginning of the summer. I do plan on jumping back into it at some point. You know, we'll talk about the kind of the pathway of till 2021 that they kind of rolled out.
Yeah.
And showed us characters and updates and such. But at the beginning of the summer, a lot of Street Fighter V. I played mostly that. I don't even remember what else I played like in the beginning, like June and July.
Mm-hmm.
I did start streaming in July with Batman Telltale
Yeah.
series.
Hell yeah.
I think that's I've been having a good time.
Yo, big
with
shout
that.
outs to Dan's stream, which has been
Yo.
like getting so good lately.
I appreciate it. You
Yeah,
know,
I like watching it. I can't watch it all because by the time that it's like getting to the good part, I'm like, I have to go to bed.
The thing about Dan's stream is in the way that the Telltale Batman games are like, it's when Dan is faced with adversity and a decision, and you can see him like calm face, but it takes every single decision.
It takes a little bit longer.
He takes it to the last possible millisecond because you know he's just like doing the Zach Galifianakis calculating shit.
dude.
My favorite part is that he made Batman a giant simp.
No,
Like-
no. It's the opposite, dude. He's always just like, I gotta be a hero at all times. Because if I was playing, I'll be like, yeah, let's go, Selena. Come on, let's always go. And then he's just like, nah, man, we gotta do it for
the
Dent.
right way.
We
You
gotta
do it right.
We gotta.
way, you know?
Dent's the homie, and I'm like, ah, shit. All right.
Let me tell you, man.
It's an opening experience.
Some of those decision paths are, especially in the second game. The first one was kind of like, you know, I can kind of figure out what's going to happen from here. But even in the first one, but some of those decision paths, it takes me to the last second because I'm like, oh, I'm considering all the other shit that I had Batman and Bruce Wayne say.
Yeah.
At the same time, I'm like, what's going to happen if I do this? I don't want to screw this up. The only times where I'm like, okay, I know what to do is when it's a clear, like, who are we going to, like, are we going to just be a giant asshole or are we going to, you know, actually try to be a hero? But the hardest moments are when it's like, they give you the split decision, just two options, like, go save, you know, Gordon or go save Harvey. And it's just like, or the hardest one is like, go save Harvey or go save Selena. And it's like, well, my theory on Batman is he is the only time he kind of like his character cracks is when it comes to like Selena. And that's kind of in the comics too. So
I gotta give it to him. You know, he's basically the perfect superhero except for one person.
Exactly.
That's a problem. That's
cool.
a real problem.
No, that's cool. I like that. I like that there's this one person that, because that's human, you know. Everybody has that one person where they just can't shake them. They can't, you know. They make them question everything that they stand for because of how
Batman
they feel
is
about
mentally unstable 100% of the time.
No, well, he was a superhero. You know, they're all kind of.
That guy's got seriously bad PTSD, and the one person that makes it worse is also a really giant criminal.
I mean, without talking spoilers for season 2, it's like the path that he has to take in season 2 is just like, I don't understand the fall from grace that is happening right now. You know,
it's wild, dude.
It's really wild.
It's so good. So that's what I've been up to. You know, shout outs to Seth and Ham always swinging through when they can in the stream. That really makes it fun.
Yeah.
I do have plans on what to do next. I won't go into them too far right now, but I really found it to be kind of therapeutic. Like I see why you guys stream now, you know. Even when I usually get people there, so I'm thankful for that.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, I am also even if I was doing it and it was like nobody in chat, I see why you guys do it. There's something about like going through the process of just talking to yourself, you know, and just talking about what's going on. That's kind of therapeutic, you know. And so I do enjoy it. I can't really commit to doing it more than once a week because I
We're
got
adults and we're busy.
yeah.
Yeah.
And my wife is kind enough to let me.
Be doing that.
She gives you the window of
Yeah,
time.
she gives me this.
I guess
the
you can
window
play
to do
video
that.
games now.
Yeah. It's not even that. It's just that
For
like
now.
I do so many other things. We
Yeah.
do low kick stuff. I have a actual like
Job.
job,
Yeah.
a corporate job. And I
Okay,
also do.
relax.
No, I'm just saying like it's
Calm
just a
down.
blending
Flexing on
thing.
us by being an
Excuse
adult.
me, I 6-figure, live downtown.
I didn't. I definitely.
Excuse me, big company hours, real corporate hours.
Yeah, Dan is
They
the
are real
only
corporate
person
hours.
I know in the FGC that's actually real corporate
Yeah,
hours.
I think
Like when I get, what do you call it? When I get like somebody goes, I can't talk right now. It's real corporate hours. I'm like, bro, you work at Walmart. Like, stop.
Yeah.
Like,
If Dan says I have to step away for a moment, you're like, there's a national crisis about to happen, maybe.
Yeah.
oh, there
I've
we go.
had
We
a
got
couple of-
Shiken. Shiken's real corporate hours as well.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah. I it's definitely not. I'm not rolling in it, especially after the pandemic hit. Anyhow, so
That was hitting us all
but
fierce.
I want to do more, but we'll see how it works out. Because like I said, we do LK stuff. And even I'm not gonna even front. Like a lot of the LK stuff is being done by some of the other people, but then I do have to swoop in from time to time and do things as well. Obviously, I commentate as well, so I'm doing that. And the NTA stuff with Inbound, which I'll get to in a little bit.
Oh yeah.
Is another project. So,
You tackle a lot. Yeah.
It's a lot.
I understand.
It's a lot. So, but after that, jumped into Final Fantasy 14. That game is the vacuum for all FGC people, but I'll let Seth touch on that.
You know,
was you.
Dan, honestly,
It was me.
Is not the problem here. He just goes in, hops in some dailies, and he leaves. He doesn't say anything when he does them. He just goes in, takes a shower real quick, gets fresh, and leaves.
Yeah.
Whereas-
Seth is clinically addicted.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm blaming Dan. All right, here's why.
All
Here's
right,
why.
So how did your summer go, Seth?
Here's why. Okay, dude, my summer. Okay, basically, ever since I think our last EX Saturdays episode was actually well before May, and I remember this because I wasn't doing like the big streams that I was having. I was doing the big Animal Crossing streams. I was doing the big Final Fantasy VII remake streams, and then I didn't get to talk about that on EX Saturdays. So I'm pretty sure that those were kind of like outside that window.
No, we
But
harassed you for playing Animal Crossing.
We definitely
specifically.
harassed you. For
I told
Okay.
you because
I'm
you
not
were
gonna even front.
you were playing Animal Crossing while you were streaming EX Saturdays, and I called you a
That's
bitch.
facts. Okay, yeah, never mind. All right, that's facts. I did do that. I actually played Animal Crossing while I was streaming a lot of stuff. Dan's talking about therapeutic stuff. Okay, that's therapeutic to me. Doing
is.
all the menial tasks and getting things done. And now I get to do that in Final Fantasy 14. I get to log on. My character looks amazing. The world is sick. The story is great. And I just get to do these little tasks. I get to log in, do my dailies, and feed my addiction, get my little dopamine fix, level up a couple times, maybe 5 times, which is probably about like 10 hours of gameplay. But it's good. It's a great game. I'm not one big person for MMOs. I haven't been since like RuneScape. So when Dan kind of logged on earlier this year and he was just like, yeah, I mean, it's free up until Heaven's Word. And I was like, I guess I'll check it out. I guess.
The ultimate bait.
Immediately clapped.
And you know what's crazy? You know what's
I
crazy is
suppose.
that Dan says it's free until Heaven's Sword, and Seth bought every expansion, spent real money on it, bought a whole bunch of Jet Black dye, and immediately started simping. It was crazy.
It's only like 7.
He's probably
Dollars.
spent more money on Final Fantasy. I have like 400 days of subscription on 14, like over the years. Seth has probably spent more money in 14 than I have. He walked up to me with a wind-up Tifa, and I was like, that cost real money, Seth.
Okay, look. He shits on me
Exposed?
for the wind-up Tifa. You have the wind-up Riku, which it costs more money.
It cost $30 to watch the Final Fantasy XIV orchestra concert because I was in band for 13 years and have an appreciation for music. Wind Up Riku came with it for free.
Yeah, well,
you went out of your way
I-
to buy a minion.
because 23 years of
Damn.
Tifa. Okay, I've been simping for Tifa my whole life. All right, you think I'm not gonna buy it? But anyway, it's a great game. If you guys haven't checked it out, Final Fantasy XIV is a massive multiplayer online role-playing game. It's made in Japan. It's great. Play Final Fantasy XIV for the story. Play it for the friends that you make along the way. Play it for the music. Play it for it's so much fun, dude. I am probably clinically addicted because I'm definitely going to play it right after this. But
Wow.
you know, look, I'm here for you. Okay, but that's just one part of my summer. That's just one little pocket of my summer. It's actually been like a really busy summer, not just with, you know, low kicks developments and me kind of growing along with them, but I hit platinum in Street Fighter V. That was a really big milestone for me. That was like a huge emotional milestone because I've been playing Street Fighter since like, well, Street Fighter V is what got me into the FGC in like mid 2018, maybe early 2018, and it was like such a nice milestone to hit because I was just like, I'm actually still making progress all this time because I stopped trying to play it seriously and I stopped kind of tried doing commentary for it seriously because I was just like, I'm just not gonna get better at this game, and then I just got better. And this is like the hard indicator you're pretty good at this game.
Because thank me.
Shout out
to you.
So Hoodless last night, right? Hoodless last night kind of wiped the floor. No, he didn't. Cold Pipe beat Hoodless, but Hoodless has been kind of like coming out on top in the top threes of our brackets whenever he enters, and he's a platinum player. Okay, clearly not a platinum player when he's contending with the other top level players in our brackets, but that can give the illusion that maybe Seth is a top level player. Definitely not. But
Wow.
see what I'm saying?
It's all that DOA,
You get what I
bro.
mean? It's all the DOA. Yeah, I'm not a champion by any means. Shout outs to Hoodless.
Current and probably only DOA champion because they stopped
So Hoodless
developing.
dropped the hundo and then won his hundo back
Yeah,
basically,
he dropped 2 hundo.
Yeah, that was
on
pretty good.
accident.
On
He
accident.
accidentally dropped 2 hundo. Went, oh, that was a mistake. Took back half of it, and then won most of it back.
Yeah, but I've been doing that. I had the big league binge for a little bit because they had that event, so I was back into League of Legends full force for about a month. That didn't feel good.
Yeah, it didn't, because I got dragged into that too, and it was a real problem.
The thing is, like with playing that game, there is no greater dissatisfaction than just booting up a game, winning or losing,
and hating it.
Just the whole time.
Hating it the whole time.
And hitting play again.
Yeah, and then you look at the fucking screen, it's 4 a.m., your eyes are busting into your skull from caving in so hard, and you go,
Sick.
One more.
But the event was kind of nice. They put out the skins. That's how they get you every time. It's those damn skins, you know?
14 gets you by just being a good game.
So before I jumped back into fighting games super hard, I played League. Like that was what I played. I played League since season 2.
Wow.
The Draven was new when I started.
Wow, that's old.
So like I played League hardcore up until like season 7 or 8 even.
Yeah.
Well,
same.
And I, man, it's a tough. It's a tough game.
Back when
because
he had bleed.
Yo, when he had bleed, you would walk into the
busted,
bush, you'd get queued one time, and the bleed would kill you. Even if you got out.
Level 2 Draven was a thing. Like it was actually a thing.
One of
people
complain
complain about
level 2 champions in the
people
game.
complain about League now, like, oh my god, Riot doesn't know how to balance. Riot never knew how to balance, dude.
Yeah,
what do you
Well,
mean?
I mean, that's the thing, right? Like, not to get on a League tangent, but you know, it's like balancing the game with all those champions. It was like Riot. There's a lot of criticisms you can have about Riot, but there was some good times in there and somewhere there, but
yeah,
a lot of times it was like, how do you need to know a direction to go with this game? And honestly, the MOBA space was like evolving as they were evolving their game. So that's also, you know, part of the issue.
I think the thing is, they say we don't know how to balance, but they pick an entire role of a game to make useless or broken every season.
Okay, so this is like obviously trying to balance a game like League that has 186 champions. That's going to be a little tough.
So instead, they just go, a champion is actually a role.
So
they make a role one champion.
Well, the thing is, like, they can't do it like one champion at a time. So they'll like buff the roles, or they'll like kind of adjust items and stuff. So that way, it's kind of just like a big buff to a bunch of different people, and then a big adjustment to others. You know, so it's like instead of just touching on one, obviously, like if they're overtuned or they need specific fixing or fine tuning, then they'll do that. But Riot's balancing philosophy is really just based on the roles, so that way they can just do a chunk of balance at a time, because there's so many characters, there's so many balances, or so many things to do in that game. And that can actually be a perfect segue into Street Fighter V's upcoming update in December.
Yes.
Because they're adding a gameplay mechanic, something new, and I don't know what. Obviously nobody knows what it is. I don't know if it's going to be like stuff to like an offensive tool or defensive tool, but whatever they add,
I would hope it's a defensive tool.
I would hope it's a defensive tool, obviously, but whatever they add could potentially bring lower tier characters higher.
All right, before we
higher
get
tier
into that,
right?
Before we get into that,
so
before
basically,
we get into that, we need to go over Ham's summer. We didn't give him a chance to.
Okay,
talk
yeah.
about it.
Ham,
because
what was your summer?
the next thing is definitely Street Fighter V.
Okay, so
hell yeah.
So the beginning of the summer, I was playing a lot of Soul Calibur 6, and that was just because, you know, I was like, I gotta keep the game alive. My community needs me. And then I realized that I hated playing the game online, and I hated lying to myself about it. I was like, this is a miserable experience. I'm angry all the time. I tech that throw, I know it. This is trash, and I hate it. It doesn't have rollback, it has delay. So I stopped playing it. Then after that, I was like, Seph's over there playing Street Fighter V every day. I'd like to play video games with Seph. So then I just played Street Fighter V with Seph, which works better online than Soul Calibur. And I know it's a take, but it's true, it is. And now I actually like the game. You can go through history and see all the times I shit on that game. And now I like it. I think it's good. I think it's a lot of fun. I play Balrog now. And I did beat Stuart. Fuck you, Stuart. Don't ever lie in the Discord again.
Hello?
Ever again.
Cap.
Yeah, cap. Disrespect.
Cap.
So I played a lot of that. I got into League with Seph. A lot of stuff I did because Seph. I got into League with Seph again.
Wow.
And I was
hot boy effect.
No.
That was a miserable experience, but like for like a while, I was like way too into it.
Mm-hmm.
Then I tried to stream it, and I realized that the PC was slowly dying because it was like you're using 98% CPU to stream League of Legends. I'd like to point out, by the way, I've been playing League of Legends since Season 1. I still have the Kale skin. I love that game.
Damn.
What skin?
Yeah, that's the OG.
Silver Kale?
No, Judgment Kale.
Oh, Judgment Kale.
Kale.
Okay.
Yeah.
The one.
Silver Kale was beta skin.
Okay.
I really do. And like, I got way too into it. Like, Seph like tapped into the addiction, and I was playing that for a while.
I remember seeing you guys boot that up, and I'm like, what are you doing?
Just stop.
And they were like, stop. Don't talk to me.
Don't talk to
I'm
it.
like, oh,
Don't talk
okay.
about it. Don't tell anybody.
And then there was that. Tried to play Sam Show a couple of times. That didn't work out because it doesn't work.
Look, hey, it works. It's just in very specific, isolated, and picky.
Akuma's not busted. It's just when he has full meter and rage, he can one-touch kill you.
I was heavily into Sam Show when it came out. My hitbox has Haumuru on it. Yes. I designed that image myself and put it together to make a hitbox artwork, and I don't play Sam Show. It's one thing when the online is bad. It's another thing when the lobbies don't work. Like
Soul Calibur.
So like I'm very saddened. And there are people who are playing the game, and shout outs to them, and they're loving the game, and shout outs to them. I think that's great, but I just couldn't do it anymore. The
hope was gone.
I really don't want to do this when there's other things I could do with my time. So
yeah, the lobby system is really the only thing that really, and I think it's because of how integral it is outside of locals to have good online. Obviously, 2020 is showing us the how imperative it is to have good online. in order to keep your game connected and alive. But Sam Show to kind of come out the gate with this booty lobby system was it was a combination of the matchmaking and the lobby system, which are like the two biggest things
the
for online
matchmaking
play.
was like,
you know,
even on a new day, even when the game came out, I spent like 15 minutes.
you couldn't
trying to get
find
into the game.
anyone.
It just came out, and there was a time where St. Cola and I were searching for a match at the same time, and we couldn't even find each other.
Yeah.
And we live in the same city.
Yeah.
And it's just like, what?
Yeah. So when you have a system like that is, you know, obviously people can't be playing the game 24/7 at your local or at an event. Like, you need to have online. You need to have online in order for people to want to show your game off and play your game and keep it alive. Nobody could just be in training mode forever, dude. Like,
and that's not a training mode game.
that is not. Well,
It's not.
It's not. It's not.
That is not a training. You're not labbing combos.
I'm
with
gonna soft flex. I didn't lab that game a lot, and I still got third place. You know what I'm saying? At the local.
I have never labbed that game in my life, but I don't like to lose, and that's enough.
It's such an expressive game. I think it's one of the most expressive fighting games on the market right now.
I agree.
And it has so little to offer in terms of online
Ability to
tools.
play it.
Yeah, ability to play it with your
It's
friends.
unfortunate.
Yeah.
But yeah, I definitely stopped playing it for offline offline to online reasons, but I still like the game. I tried to beat Persona 5 Royal this summer.
Oh god.
It didn't happen.
Yeah.
I skipped every cutscene all the way up until like the last palace, and it still takes too long to beat. It's like 50 hours, and I just want to see the new stuff, and I can't because I'm like, I can't play this game again. I've beat it twice already.
All the cool stuff is 100 hours in.
It's awful. But I would recommend the game to somebody. Like, if you play Persona 5 Vanilla, you're an idiot. I'm just gonna say that because that game is not good anymore.
Yo, shout outs to Chase.
Yo,
What?
Chase actually just played. He played on brutal, like the hardest difficulty, while simultaneously playing Vanilla months after
What?
Royal released.
Yeah.
I was like, Chase, this
Ugh.
has to stop.
Why?
Yeah.
I
I don't know. Chase likes to make himself
Suffer.
feel pain. Yeah, I don't understand.
But yeah, I dropped that about the last palace in because I was just mad. And then after that, I just kind of went Street Fighter 5, Street Fighter 5, Street Fighter 5.
Yeah.
And then I started teaching Christian Soul Calibur because he started watching it. And we actually do have a reasonable connection with each other, so I can play against him. And that's been pretty fun. I will say that teaching somebody a fighting game when you play grapplers is almost impossible because they just have to guess and they don't learn anything from that. Like, what do you learn from just guessing? You learn canned scenarios, but you don't learn, like, how to improve a neutral when somebody knocks you down and kills you in one guess,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
But,
Some would argue that is fighting game.
yeah, no.
I think it's a
Attacking somebody on Wake Up is a guess.
welcome to
Dash,
fighting
low
games.
tier god. But yeah,
Man.
it's been fun, like, delving back into that. Every time Christian drops and picks the game back up, he's playing a different character, and now he's at Yoshi, who's really strong. By the way, Soul Calibur went through a balance patch, and it was weird because I didn't expect a balance change, but they nerfed Setsuka and they nerfed Yoshimitsu because they realized they'd made him too fun, and they buffed Astaroth again for literally he has not missed a patch of buffs.
That's like a perfect segue into our next topic, isn't it?
Yeah. State of fighting games.
Yeah. Because we're
Let's start with Street Fighter because I
Okay.
feel like that's the most.
well, we can
In some way, that's the most hopeful.
We're also on the topic of Soul Calibur. All right, hold your
That's
point
true.
about
That's true.
the Soul Calibur
We'll
patch
go- we'll
because
start
that
with
is a
Soul
big
Calibur
that is a
first,
big
then.
deal. You want to start with Soul Calibur?
Well, I really
Okay,
don't have a lot to say about it in regards to, like, I haven't. Okay, so I went in the Nightmare Discord. This is my favorite event. All right, because
This is true. I've heard this before.
every time a new balance patch comes out, Nightmare players cry about everything. It's my favorite thing to do. They all say they're not downplaying him. He's not so bad. And then they go, but here's why he sucks. And I'm like, wow. So y'all are still crying. This is great. He's still a ridiculous character. But people are still crying. But Astaroth, I believe Nightmare did get buffed. A lot of characters got buffed, but Soul Calibur Balance is having a Tekken problem where they just keep buffing characters and hardly nerf them.
Mm-hmm.
I know Zasalamel has actually explicitly gotten buffs every time. And I talked to Necromaster about that. Shout outs to the mans himself. We actually had like a 2-hour conversation about Zasalamel and the Astaroth matchup. He says it's a lot better than it is now, because you can't lethal hit for command throws. But that's a big deal, by the way. He's correct. But I still think Zasalamel is a menace to society and way too strong. And they just keep doing nice things for that guy. This is the most successful black man in fighting games.
I was gonna say, dude. I didn't think that's
Leroy
good.
Smith.
I was gonna say,
yeah. Leroy is definitely the most successful black. That's black excellence, like to the 25th.
Oh,
power.
that is the blackest of excellence. But Zasalamel was black excellence that they didn't immediately arrest or kill in the streets.
No,
that's facts.
It's the one thing where politics is on the side of him entirely.
They did nerf him during Black History Month, though.
They sure
Put
did.
that out there.
Zasamasol?
No, Leroy got.
Oh yeah, Leroy got destroyed.
No, he didn't, because he's still.
He didn't get destroyed. He's still great.
They clipped so many of his wings, but brought him down to from 8 wings to 2. But he
yeah, exactly.
He
8 wings.
They took some pluses off of the S tier that he was in.
Yeah, they removed some pluses.
Now you're just regular god.
He's just regular S.
Yeah,
it's fine.
You're just regular god tier. So
yeah, that balance patch is pretty interesting in the sense that oh man, at the beginning of the summer they did the Setsuka release, and when they released Setsuka, they also nerfed Maxi, and in one very specific way, and it was they nerfed Heaven's Guard because it's a resistant pack that he gets from just spinning his nunchucks around, like he would just go. And if you swung into it, you just died, but he can do that in between any attack he wants. So you're just guessing as to whether or not you can play against him for a second, and he would do huge damage there. So what would end up happening is you would just get exploded for like a quarter of your life bar because he has Heaven's Guard available. So they nerfed it. Then they nerfed it in a way where if you swung into him, you would then be able to resist impact his guaranteed follow-up, making it effectively force Maxi players, apparently, useless. Rich Six then proceeded to win the bracket that we ran immediately after the Maxi nerf and still say that Maxi sucks. But that's fine. That was pretty much they buffed Heaven's Guard. Now you do get a guaranteed follow, but I believe it's 6A plus B, which is not a lot of damage, except in Soul Charge where it's stupid damage. But yeah, I think that the Soul Calibur 6 balance change was good. They're doing a good thing right now, but I'm concerned that if they don't stop buffing characters, we're going to hit a Tekken 7 problem within a year if the game continues to be supported, because Soul Calibur players don't like the idea of letting other people play their game.
Oh my
or
god,
do anything
I don't
for that
understand
matter. But I'll get to that.
Yeah, we're gonna. All right, so let's jump into Street Fighter V because I've got some things to say about that as well. I'm deciding how much I'm gonna pop off. But,
you want to pop off
all the way off?
You want to pop
nah,
off?
I'm not gonna pop off yet.
All right. Well, I'm gonna pop off because Street Fighter V is seeing some crazy. Not really balance changes or anything like that. It's just like the meta has been evolving so much. People in the tier lists have kind of just been shifting around a lot lately, and it's really, really cool to see despite them not touching the game, right? So Seth, upon their release, there was only one balance patch since Seth's release.
Yeah.
And it was the 5.0 update. I think they did like a short update after that. And then Seth was kind of like mid. They were just like, damn, this character is flashy.
This character's pretty mid.
This character's cool, but pretty mid. Like, not able to really do much.
I'd like to point out, by the way, just throwing this out there, Ultra David was right the whole time. Yeah. And James Chen, they're like, James Chen said, this move affects your jump arc. This character's automatically top tier.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember them saying that.
And Ultra David said that axe kick is really dumb and super oppressive, and every tool that you could need in a character is in this character.
Yeah,
Yep.
so that's the
And
thing.
everybody blew them up about it.
Yeah, they were
that.
just like, no, this character damage isn't that great. This character has low health. Oh, the V-trigger systems don't even work. And
then they watch Seth go.
And then
with
months,
V-trigger.
and then months later, like everyone just started to figure out how to use V-trigger 1, which is the ball one, and they're just like, oh yeah, this character's fucked up. Oh yeah. And then they the thing is, like, they optimize their axe kicks. They understand how to use Seth's buttons. They understand the ball setups and stuff like that. And it's not even ball. It's just like,
that's the
it's
one
not
I'm
ball
less
itself.
worried about.
It's not ball itself. It's just, it adds to Seth's tool set. It's just those little things that kind of, oh yeah, you can chip kill out from like 20% health. You can, do this grimy ass neutral jump mix up with the ball. Oh, but it's just those little things that add up to say, Seth kind of has everything, don't they? So axe kick, obviously is like the biggest glaring thing because you're just not reacting to that.
Not only are you not reacting to that, you're also not anti-airing.
But the thing is, the online environment has kind of been what has shifted it. Like Vega shot really, really high. Bison shot down. A lot of characters that are typically top offline have really just shot down. I think that most of the tier lists that we're seeing now, and most of the ways that people are exploring these characters and how things are kind of rotating, people are understanding these characters' strengths more, not just in the environment that it's in, but like they're understanding these very unique and like very strange matchups more due to the environment.
They're playing to the lag.
They're playing with the lag. They're playing to the lag, but they're playing into a avenue of Street Fighter that they haven't previously. So now it's just causing more knowledge to be acquired, and therefore a lot of players are just like opening their third eye on Street Fighter 5, and it's really, really cool that despite no balance happening, things are shifting so greatly. And then we had the new character announcements, which was a little look, hey, shut up.
Yeah.
All right. Here's what I enjoyed about it, right? Here's what I enjoyed about it. They laid out a timeline, which never happens.
Good shit, Capcom.
Good shit, Capcom.
Who does do that? Capcom does that for Monster
For
Hunter.
Monster Hunter. Exactly. They do this for their other games, being Monster Hunter. And like their only other worldwide successful title. They laid out the timeline. They laid out who's coming. They laid out where they're at in the development stage, and they said, yeah, we're doing this because all this stuff is happening. Because the Seth was supposed to be the last one. These are just characters that they scrapped and that were just done, but they're just like, well, we're here, like we're stuck and we got our hands free, so I guess we're just gonna
soft confirm Street Fighter 6 on that stream and said it wasn't up to their standard.
What do you mean?
I don't remember that.
No, they didn't say that. They said that like the characters that they're releasing were initially not up to their standard. That's why they didn't make the final cut, but now they're making the cut. Now they're gonna get developed and worked on and stuff. And it's really cool to see rival schools representation for the first time in like 10 years.
But we're also not getting that character till next year.
That's okay. So yes, so I understand that the timeline for it is whack. Like we are not going to be able to see a lot of the cool stuff until at least January, right? But they're kicking it off really well. They're kicking it off with a ton of new content, even though it's Dan.
Yeah, that's the wet blanket for me.
Shout out to Dan. But even though it's Dan, that's kind of just like that's representative of what's like the whole season is going to be like. Like this season is just going to be fun. Dan is just fun. We're going to add a ton of new content. We're going to add a new gameplay mechanic that was probably not going to be introduced at the end of, ever. So now we're getting this whole new way to play Street Fighter 5, ideally, hopefully. And then a couple months later, we get Rose. And then we get Akira. Or Oro, and then Akira.
Well,
it's going to be cool.
I mean, so here's the thing. I understand the distance of development. I mean, we are definitely in a pandemic
because they're starting it,
right? Like, and it's very difficult for a lot of businesses that haven't typically been work from home oriented or remote work oriented to shift to that, right? So I definitely get the spacing and the timing of it. I wish in lieu of that, they did not start with Dan.
I also wish they would have waited just a little longer to announce anything at all.
Well, I don't know if they could have.
Yeah,
I don't know if they could have.
Yeah. Because then, like, it would have fallen off the radar so heavy, and with a lot of really big Paramount plans and content that they have for it, I think that announcing Dan and making him first was the best case scenario, because it only gets better from there. Like, you have more and more and more reason. And it's not just Dan, it's the stuff alongside Dan. It's the new stages, the new costumes, the new mechanic, like all this new stuff that comes alongside him in one big package to kind of kick off the stuff makes you more excited for the rest of the characters. Because it's not just Dan, it's everything around him.
Well, know? But the
it's
first initial boost is
Dan.
Yes, that's how I feel. And I know people like Dan, blah, blah, that's fine. That's cool.
Some people like Dan.
But
I won't like Dan if he's better than other certain characters.
Ryu.
Dan is going to be better
characters.
than Ryu.
He's going to be better than
Dan
Ryu.
is going to be better than Ryu.
Fine ass bitch.
Hey, but what if that the gameplay mechanic, right? When that
now for real talk, I am interested in the gameplay mechanic to see what they bring to it.
Yes, I mean, we mentioned it a little bit earlier. I hope it's a defensive tool, because Street Fighter V is a very not defense oriented fighting game. It is.
Yeah, just look at Sagat.
Who?
Wow.
But it's just a very, like, obviously the most
Jesus.
aggressive characters succeed. And I think that I don't think that that's inherently a problem, but I would hope to see that the gameplay mechanic being added. I don't see it as a problem, because that's me. All right, I like to do that, but
we know.
But I hope that the gameplay mechanic opens up this whole new ton of new possibilities for Street Fighter V and its characters, and I hope that it kind of completes it. A lot of people still feel as though Street Fighter V is just this. There's like one identity, and it's just like offense. And I hope that whatever they add, changes the game. It'll be cool. Obviously it's all speculation. I don't know
I feel
what
like
it could
the
be.
monkey's paw is curling right now. Right now.
You think so?
Yeah, I'm screwing.
Only because when somebody says, I think that X value is going to be super good and change the game, yes, it will do that. But will it be in a way that you'll like? And will it be in a way that you like for the duration of the game? Because after that, they're working on 6, baby.
Well, if it's
but they're not going to be. I mean, so here's the thing. They're probably already doing the groundwork for 6 right now. But we know from that roadmap, 6 isn't going to be out till like 2022 or 2023.
Yeah,
absolutely,
yeah.
We're gonna be playing Street Fighter V for a long ass
time. And
time.
honestly, as much as I like, Season 5 is good. Like I have had my gripes with Street Fighter 5, and I haven't been like heavily in the community. So let me put that out there first. But in Season 3, I learned Street Fighter 5 for real because I was commentating it at Super Saturdays at Raid, with Seth. So I actually paid attention to the game. After that shifted, and Super Saturdays, Raid closed down and all that, I kind of fell off of Street Fighter 5. I watched it because I think the storylines are great. I think the players are, their stories are fun, and seeing them go up against each other. It's fun to watch Punk pop off on Alex Myers, apologize, and then pop off on him again. Like, that's fun stuff to see. That's fun. I love watching Smug play online and just duff random people. It's cool. But Season 5 is when I saw Season 5 come out, when Champion Edition happened, and I was like, okay, let me see I was like, yo, this is actually kind of good. Like, it's, I didn't have the complaints that I had before.
Oh my god.
I mean, dude, I will say that Street Fighter 5, I have the same complaints I did when I didn't like the game. But I gave myself to the idea that you just have to be stupid the whole time, and it changes your perspective so much. You're like, yeah, I'm gonna walk up, throw in the corner 3 times. Why? Because they don't want to have to guess, and it's like yeah, I hate that, but that's the way the game is played.
Okay, so I mean, some of the base complaints are still there, but what I'm saying is like, it's more, to me, it's just more fun to play.
Yeah, there's too much. There's a lot of variety.
Yes, there's a lot of variety out there now. And if you're not trying to be like, I'm going to go win CPT level of play, it's a fun game to play. You know, I can't speak on the super competitive level because I'm not super competitive at the game. But at the level that I'm at, just messing around playing Street Fighter, it's fun. So I don't have a problem with playing it till 2022 if that's the case.
What are you referring to?
I'm saying we were saying we're going to be playing Street Fighter 5 for a while.
Oh, you don't mind playing it until 2022?
Yeah.
Oh,
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
like,
me
if
too,
it stays at this level, then
I don't mind. Yeah, and honestly, I think that even after Street Fighter 6 comes out, it'll still have its traction for a little bit. I don't think it'll die very fast, and that's just in classic Capcom game fashion, in classic Street Fighter fashion. Street Fighter 6 is people are going to say it's going to be different. Launch.
Yeah.
And then we're going to play Street Fighter 5 for at least a year more. Then another, like the first patch for Street Fighter 6 will come out. Another Super Street Fighter 6, and then people will be like, "Hey, fuck Street Fighter 5," you know,
forever.
I mean, that's just
trends.
I mean, that's the way fighting games go in general, but specifically Street Fighters. You know, Street Fighter 6 is going to be different. People are going to be like, "I hate this. It sucks." And I mean, that's how Street Fighter goes, though. So,
well, I mean, I don't think that's how anime goes. I think when anime stuff happens, nobody plays the last game.
Yeah, but that's because anime games are like actual like evolutions on top of the old engine, right?
Yeah.
Like it's not like oh, this is a completely new game. It just has the Street Fighter title and characters on it.
I feel
because if you think about it, like like Street Fighter 4 and Street Fighter 3 and Street Fighter 5 are really all different fighting games.
Very different. Yeah.
Like they're really different fighting games.
Yeah.
They just have Street Fighter characters and the name Street Fighter on it.
Yeah.
And people can throw fireballs. And the fireball becomes less effective through the franchise.
Yeah.
Don't worry about that.
They're all. What do you mean? They're like never. Okay, so they're never. Third strike, fireballs and third strike? Tell me. Really?
Fireballs are very important in third strike.
Parry
it.
Yeah, parry it. However, if I'm going to try to mix your timing up, et cetera, fireballs become very important. Because while you're trying to parry, if I read that, I can get a dash jump in.
They're very different. Now, it's also
exactly.
very
so like I mean, they're very important.
It's also very apparent in like Tekken, where the new Tekken game comes out, and then a lot of people kind of just don't like it. I don't think there has been a Tekken on release that the Tekken fans have enjoyed out of the gate.
I think 7 was pretty well received.
I thought 7 on release, people were just like, "This is Mel."
People were hype about it.
People really liked Tekken 7 on release. I think the only actually well documented complaint was there was a shit ton of input lag, and then they fixed that, and they were like, "That's fine."
Yeah, but they fixed that like a decent amount of time afterward.
Yeah, it was a few months, but
no, I remember hearing like a solid amount of complaints about the roster in
so,
Tekken 7.
Moving on to Tekken, since we're jumping in there. Over the summer, Tekken has been pretty rough, from what I've seen. You know, it's Tekken 7 is not. Fakuram came out and really just a lot of people were not happy.
Because he came out too early, you know. People felt
he needed to be in the oven for like a little bit while.
Yeah, because he was just like ignoring some mids, like completely.
Just straight up, just walking through lows, dashing through lows even.
Yeah.
Like his as a character model, it wasn't working.
Yeah.
And also he's just way too strong. I know Pakistan banned him.
Yeah.
They're like, why would we even play Tekken 7 against Fakumram? Nee made his usual once every month complaint that, and I say once a month, this means that he's doing pretty well considering that Soul Calibur players complain once a day. Once a month, he says something like, "Why do people keep bothering me about playing Steve?" Except this time it was, "Why does people judge me for playing Fakumram? I'm a professional. He's the best character in the game.
Hands down.
Free. Yeah.
I make money and a living doing this. I'm going to play this character." This kept happening. This happens just like go to like Nee's timeline and he just retweets cats, and then like if you check a monthly schedule, he goes, "Why do people hate me for playing X value character? They're the best character in the game. It makes no sense why I wouldn't play him." But Tekken 7 otherwise has been in the same state that we had at the beginning of the summer.
Yeah.
Where everybody's upset because nothing doesn't do a fuck ton of damage and everyone dies in two mix-ups instead of 3. That sucks, and I don't even care to linger on Tekken because
Yeah,
I can't
that's
even
kind
watch
of
it.
that's kind of where it is right now. We'll see what I think season 4 patch or something like that's coming.
Oh yeah, this holiday
Yeah,
season
they
because
they did the
Cooney.
just for like just like a soft reminder that roundup happened. We did live stream it, and
Yeah,
it
we
did
did.
suck, and that was it.
It was an
It
announcement for an
wasn't
announcement.
it wasn't that great, but hey, we got announced for Arc Revo, which is dope. We'll talk about that towards the
Hey,
end
we
of the
did.
podcast.
Yeah, we'll swing that over by the end.
And next up on the list, MK11. I mean, Aftermath came out. I played it for like 2 weeks. I
Low
just
shot,
made
high
it
shot.
people. I just made people rage quit playing RoboCop, low shot, high shot. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And then people started to figure it out, and I'm like, okay, well,
This isn't fun anymore.
I like stomping scrubs.
It was fun.
Dan just goes from
I like
video-
RoboCop.
He goes
Like,
from game to game trying to do low shot, high shot, and once it doesn't work
Honestly-
anymore, he just goes to the next one.
Honestly, that's kind of the case. You give me someone who can do a low shot, high shot, I'm probably in there.
They're gonna put a low shot, high shot character in a Grand Blue.
They're gonna. Oh,
They already have one. I mean, that's Matera, but it's just she's
Oh,
not
she do.
my type of character at all.
no.
Is it the aesthetics, Dan? Is it the horny?
That's part of it, but
It's a big part of it.
she's just not my type of character.
Yeah, that's
She
how I
doesn't.
felt too.
You know why? She doesn't have a DP. I like low shot, high shot because of the enforcing of DP.
Yeah.
And RoboCop didn't have a DP, but he did have air shot, and you
That's
couldn't
pretty
block
tight.
it.
Yeah.
So like,
Well, I mean,
that-
she's
I
got
like
air
that.
shot.
Yeah, but hers
Does-
is not.
She's got
hers
2H.
is kind of whack. It's like whack air shot. And in anime, first of all, you can block that.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh yeah,
or
that's
maybe you-
okay.
maybe you can't.
No,
Maybe
2H you can't block. You can't block
You
grounded
can't block
normals.
that. You cannot block
Yeah.
that. But I don't know. It's in an anime game. If you don't have a DP, I'm not going to get oppressed in the corner and not have a DP. Like,
You know,
that's
can we talk about Grand Blue? Cause how sparse the content has been for Grand Blue most of the year. Like we got Zoe, which was cool, and
Zoe
then
was dope.
And then we got nothing.
Yeah, unless
we
it's
just
Grand
sat
Blue.
on
So
I
Grand Blue is in her. I mean, I don't even want to.
So Grand Blue is like, it's still, people who play it are deeply satisfied. They love the game. It's great. But for me, like, I just fell out of it because I felt like I couldn't find any character that I vibe with. I think Jita was really close. Jita was probably the closest that I came where it was just like, there's something that I need. I don't know what it was though, but there was just like, dude, I want to do more than just buffer 5H into Rekka. But I don't know what it was. The recipe is nearly complete. And I hope that the next season for Grand Blue, like, introduces a character I'm just like, I'm in there free.
Yo, Shiken's comment at 1:16 p.m. CDT. I tried to play Grand Blue on a whim yesterday, and no one was online except for one lag switcher.
That's the issue with the game at the moment. From a if you want to arrange times to play sets, there are people playing Grand Blue.
Absolutely.
But like for someone who, if they're just at whatever o'clock in the day wants to jump on and play Grand Blue, it's really hard to, especially in ranked, but also in the lobbies. Outside of like SQ hosts those community nights, which does really well. But outside of like arranged events, it's becoming, it's like Shaiken said, it's becoming a Discord fighter, you know, like where you have to arrange sets, and that's unfortunate.
And
it's
really less than a year.
It's really disappointing. I think that it didn't have the chance to grow, right? Because it came out.
It did that. That's it.
It just didn't have the chance. But I think that it's still prominent enough, and people still have enough attention on it. Where if and when things end here, at least in North America, then it'll still be there and it'll come back like full force.
In Japan, it's completely different. Like in Japan, people are still playing the hell out of Grand Blue.
Yeah.
I think what's gonna end up happening is that you're gonna have, once things return back to locals, people are gonna start playing it offline again, and they're like, oh yeah, this game is really fun, and then that's how it'll start to happen. But yeah, at the moment, there just needs to be like, I don't see anything short of like announcing rollback for having such
Oh,
like a
yeah.
mass influx of new people, and that's. I mean, Arxis has pretty much said that's not going to happen due to them. I meat, they're working on Strive, et cetera, and I get that. And so
yeah, Dragon Ball Fighters, old Ma, as everybody calls her, Ma. She sat on a stream and said, "Yeah, rollback's too hard." Oh no,
It is. Cause it is, dude. Can you bet rollback in a team fighter?
I don't give a fucking shit, bro.
It's hard.
So like, Arxis is spread super thin. That's my point. Like they have a lot, and they do have different teams working on different things, but I mean they're only so large, and I'm sure there are people working cross team because that's just how it works. If you have somebody who's really good, you're gonna be like, yo, I need you on every squad. They've essentially become the Wolverine of Arxis, and they're on every team. They're on red, blue, and gold.
That wasn't necessary.
It always necessary.
I'm so sick you hate on Wolverine.
X-Men. Anyhow, so we'll see what happens with Grand Blue. I think that I really love the game as far as, I think it's great. I think the design is great. I think it's beautiful.
Yeah, I think it's gorgeous. I think it's definitely one of the more enjoyable fighting games to watch. I've been watching a lot of the same players playing the same characters, and it's still fun. And I think that's what Grand Blue is going to have going for it. It's just like
a problem.
It's so simple, but it's still so very enjoyable. And I mean, people relate it to like the anime or the Street Fighter of the anime games, and I think that simplicity is what really helps its tenor, because they do really complex things with those simple tools.
Yep.
And that's what's really fun. The only thing that's keeping me from diving in is just
you got to find a character.
I need a character to vibe with. That's literally it.
It was a concoction to really all of the things that Arxis and Cygames planned for Grand Blue just really ran into the worst scenario when 2020 and the pandemic.
Absolutely.
Like the limited roster, that would have been fine if we could have been playing offline and just having fun, blah, blah, blah. The online being standard, Arxis netcode, that would have been fine, question mark. It would have been survivable, I should say. It wouldn't have been fine, but it would have been survivable if we had offline. And we don't have any of those things. So it's just like, well...
yeah.
Now we're in a situation where we are. So I hope the game gets revived. I really do, but we'll see what happens.
We'll see.
I hope that Arc Revo in the new patch does breathe some life into it.
Yeah, me too.
And I'm excited to see Arc Revo and to see what unfolds because, it's a big Grand Blue tournament.
Wait, is that this month? That patch?
That is the patch is on the 24th. Yeah.
Let's go.
That's gonna really mix up that competitive.
What is it, Cagliostro?
I'm excited for it. The Bellio, and then Cagliostro is after Bellio.
Oh, okay, all right.
I'll just say that if you wanted to get a wave top ham take on Grand Blue, I can open Twitter and Grand Blue players are saying Grand Blue isn't dead, which is indicative of a near dead game. So I'm hoping that it gets better because I want to see a sick tournament for Arc Revo, and moreover, I don't like when games die unless their community is absolutely garbage, and then you can just go away forever. I don't care. But Grand Blue's community is made of a lot of people that I like.
Let's talk about Fantasy Strike.
That game isn't real to me.
So speaking of Fantasy Strike and shifting over to other fighting games that do have rollback, because we had a big rollback episode, right? And we talked about that for EX Saturday. So a lot of games did, and I still need to play this game. I don't know if I'm gonna like it though, but big shout outs to Fexel.
Fexel! Oh, thank God! I thought you were talking about Fantasy Strike. I was like, I don't know if you're gonna like Fantasy Strike, bro.
I'm talking about no. I was talking about Fexel.
Please,
it has one Terrence Bogard, so
Terrell Bogard.
Terrell Bogard.
That's the different Terry. That's the one that comes from the real Southtown.
I mean, Terry in this game is great. I think he's top in Fexel.
I don't know if he is. So there are two characters that I would want to play: Terry and Sharon, because
she's a cowboy. Yeah.
But it added. I mean, Erica just was like, "Yo, you want rollback? All right."
Yeah, I wanna really find people to delve back into Fexel with. Because obviously, like, your friends are kind of where you'll travel along with.
If you get Fexel stuff,
I have Fexel.
He has it.
Do you have it on PC?
I will get it on PC.
If you get it on PC, I am on stream saying I will play it with you.
I will. All right. We will do that
later.
We'll play.
I'll do it tonight.
I'll do it tonight. See me online. I love
But,
it. I love it. The thing is, I've been hard shilling Fexel since its development because I was a big fan of Street Fighter EX. I was a big fan of those characters. I was a big fan of Arica and like how those operate. I do. I love Skullomania. He's so fun, dude. I don't know.
He's sick.
Yeah, like I played it a lot as a kid, and I just had really, really fond memories of it. So when I saw that they were doing something new with those characters, I was just like, it looks good too. So I'm really excited. Then the game came out, and I was like, oh no. Gogies.
That's the one thing about the game that's just had me like, I don't know if I want to do this.
But the thing is, like, Gogies aren't that bad because it's like when you hold up other conditions in other fighting games around it, like other system mechanics around, you know, the characters on top of those characters themselves, it's not so bad because obviously custom Gogies you can't use. It's the same thing as Street Fighter Cross Tekken, except Street Fighter Cross Tekken is just like, nobody does damage, so it's so slow. But the gem systems
Take the damage gems
aren't the worst thing about that game. They're pretty bad, but Gogies aren't that bad.
Street Fighter Cross Tekken, their first attempt at rollback netcode.
Gogies aren't that bad. I'm just gonna put it out there. They're not that bad. It's kind of like in Mortal Kombat when you're hunting for a crushing blow situation or a lethal hit situation in Soul Calibur. Gogies are like that. They're just situations for you to kind of play around that you can predetermine, that you can set for yourself, like a sort of style that you want. They're not bad. I like Gogies. I have come around to Gogies rather when I consider like that. So
okay, I mean, I'll give it a shot. I just, you know, look,
really
I've made
sell
the
them.
commitment. You know, if you want to try out Fexel, I would definitely try out Fexel.
Okay.
You know,
I played it.
I like Terrence. I'm a
Jerome.
big fan. So
I played it a decent amount on release. I was a big fan of Blair. I played Blair. I played Shadow Geist.
Blair's
I played
cool.
the hell out of Shadow Geist. Shadow Geist was really, really fun. Because he just gets to rush your shit. It's so much fun. And he gets the dive kick, and it's fucking cool.
You say rushdown character for Seth? Surprise, surprise. And I'm not playing it now.
It's cool, man. He has a tackle. I don't know. I like Shadow Geist.
Wait, you
He's
say
big.
tackle?
Yeah, he's got a tackle, dude. He's sick.
Marta?
Come on, play.
Out here ruining people's lives.
Yeah, Fexel's really, really fun. The hard thing about Fexel that I can understand what people can struggle with is like most of your combos are gonna start with like a dash up, and otherwise you're just kind of doing like the basic footsie stuff. But all the anime wicked stuff is like you're dashing, you're running in.
is there a lot of dash cancels in there that you have to do?
It's not necessarily dash cancels. It's like when you dash and you button, there's still some momentum that you get from the dash. The button doesn't stop your movement entirely. So like, so if you want to do like a light, medium, heavy chain,
Yeah.
it has to start from a dash. So that way the pushback kind of gets negated by your dash up. So that's how
So
most
you're
of...
saying there are Gatlings in that game?
Yeah, they're Gatlings. Yeah, there's Gatlings in that game.
That's
That's weird.
Dash
We'll figure it
Gatling.
out.
It's fun. It's really
fun.
fun.
I will give it a shot for sure. If
It
you
feels good.
want to get in, I'm looking for a reason to get in, so I'll
right, we're
I'll
in
give it a
there.
shot.
We're in there.
You never know.
Yeah. Okay.
Other games with rollback, Fighting Hurts, obviously we run that at LKO. I feel like that game is just like for the people who really are into it. It's been going up.
It really has.
It's-
Watching it is weird. I think because of its pace, and I'm not like every character is vastly different. They all have their own identity, which is really cool to see. But I'm seeing Oleander like come out a lot. I'm seeing Chanho not really do, because FNTR has told me a lot that like Oleander isn't really the best character because she does get countered by this, and this, and I'm like, well, why don't I see that? Why is it when they pick those characters against her, she just bodies them? You know, I feel as though there's still a lot of balance that kind of comes like that. Just, it doesn't feel right when you're watching TFH. I still feel as though there are some like things that need to be optimized in terms of what I'm seeing on screen. But I also don't play the game, so it's probably just some head-ass opinion.
Well, there you go.
So I don't play the game. But it's just like watching
I-
it, I feel like I'm seeing the same things. And,
I haven't watched much of it. I don't play it.
I
But I do know that they're getting new characters.
Yeah.
It has great netcode.
Yeah,
and
the
the
netcode
community
is-
really does like the game. So
Yes.
shout outs to them.
Yeah,
shouts to the
if I
community,
would
very passionate
Dom's TO highlight of the week, it's definitely gonna be Fighting Herds, because they're great. They're all just nice people, and they just want to play video
They are all
games.
very fun people.
And they make things very easy.
They do.
Don't
they
be
do.
Mortal Kombat.
Yep.
Stop being stupid.
Yeah.
You heard me.
Oh man.
If you play Mortal Kombat 11 in LKO,
I think
don't follow instructions.
And I think that about covers it for our rollback topics.
I mean, there is one other game, but I don't know if we want to just.
What?
I don't know if we want to shoot a dead horse.
I don't know what.
Fantasy Strike.
I don't know what we were
No,
talking
no,
about.
No.
Yeah, I saw that.
All I'm
in
going
the-
to say is one of the last things Dom said on EX Saturdays before we came back turned out to be true. And
I've never been wrong. The last thing I said before EX Saturdays stopped for months, the last thing said on that stream was
true.
fuck Mike Z.
Hey, what? Come on. Hey, well, at least the studio is alive.
Yeah.
least
The studio's fucking dead, Seth.
The-
I've never been wrong
Autumn.
in my life. Don't
Autumn,
ever try that.
Autumn and the Lab Zero developers that left still have jobs and are still able to work on the game and are still able
That's-
to work
and that's
on
a good-
it.
Last
that's a good
time I
thing.
checked,
'Cause
they
Autumn-
were doing a charity drive for, what do you call it, for selling art, so that the people that got laid off by Mike Z after they shut everything down,
Yeah,
after he shut everything down,
Autumn
would
is-
have money, Seth.
Autumn has been like they hired like a good chunk of those developers. And then,
I could see that as likely.
That's good.
I would
Yeah.
hope that like they band together, and they make a good game.
Yeah.
Even if it's not Skullgirls.
Yeah.
Because even Sharpie has abandoned that game.
I mean it's rough.
There are
to,
still Skullgirls players, obviously.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's a hard. That's a.
It's really difficult due to how paramount he was in the
Yes.
development and inception of that game. But if you're able to separate him from it, because it's really Alex Ahad's project, it's really Kinu's project. Like they're the creative minds behind it. You just have this dude that did subpar code for it, and then a ton of developers that really ironed out his shitty works. So, and those developers are still there. They're still alive, and there's still a lot of work that wants to go into the game. Obviously, the game needs to be put on the back burner right now. It needs to cool off. Community kind of needs some time away and a break. And yeah, I don't know if we could or should beat a dead horse on it, but I hope that if and when it returns to the scene, it is with power, force, and passion.
I am amazed by the mentality of Skullgirls players where they're like, why is no one playing our game? And it's like 7 years old. That is like
But the thing is,
the most
hey,
selfish
look,
shit.
dude, it's 7 years old and they're getting a new character.
But it's like, to me, I
Yeah.
think about it like this. Like you know how like anime games come out, and whenever a new anime game comes out, it cannibalizes every anime. You know what happens when
Yeah, but
Strive
there's no
comes
new
out.
Skullgirls game.
Yes, I'm aware.
There's Indivisible, but
That's not Skull.
Well, that's not a score.
Or even
nor
close.
is it.
Look, what
yeah,
I'm.
exactly.
I'll say this. I understand. I appreciate how fervent the Skullgirls community was about their game, and still continues. And some people still continue to be, because honestly, when you're in a situation like that and you're a underdog, right? Like you have to be that way. So
Yeah.
I don't sweat any of them for being like that, because number one, they love their game. Number two, they really believe that people would love it if they tried it. So I don't sweat them for that at all.
It's an indie title too, so it's very fragile. You know,
You have to be that way.
you have to. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Soul Calibur's the same way all the time. I was actually concerned about Soul Calibur. I asked Spooky, I was like, do you think Soul Calibur's going to make it? I asked him that at Frosty Faustings 2 years ago, and he's like, I think it'll be okay, man. It's going to be fine. I was like,
Yo,
thanks,
shout-outs to
thanks
Spooky.
Spooky.
Shout out to Spooky.
I think it's gonna be okay.
Because when the game came out, everybody's like, play Soul Calibur 6. And when people have to say that about a game, I'm genuinely concerned that it won't last.
I've been saying play Street Fighter 5 for so
Well,
long.
I'm not talking about saying, hey man, you should really try Street Fighter. It's a good game. I'm talking about you go on twitter.com
Please play my game.
and it just says play Soul Calibur 6.
Please play my
Soul
game.
Calibur 6. It's like, dude, shut up.
Please.
Now, no.
It is dependent on you and your openness.
Yeah, it's like, please.
Yeah, I understand that.
So yeah, I mean, fighting games are kind of there's a whole spectrum on where they are
Yo,
at right
hold
now.
up.
But I think that over the summer there's been some interesting developments. But
Dan, is that a new microphone?
Yeah, I've had this microphone. I
That's
mean,
a
not
nice-
been had, but it's
That's a
thank
nice
you.
one. That's a nice microphone. Sounds pretty good.
Oh, thank you. That was a weird interlude, but
I just noticed
He
it.
was
I
looking you
just
in the
noticed
face
it.
on the screen because he
Yeah.
has the one screen with your face on it only, and he just
Okay.
kind of went.
I was like, hey, there's something new about
Something
this.
nice.
Something different here.
yeah, it's a new microphone. Shout outs to Audio Technica. They got good stuff. I got an XLR mic recently
Because you've been
but-
optimizing for an ideal
stream.
commentary and stream.
Yeah. So, like I think in general, fighting games are in a very weird spot due to everything that's going on. We'll see how they play out. I definitely am still looking for that one fighter that is like going to pull in people and me at the same time.
You're talking about like a new fighting game?
Yeah, something.
Yeah,
new.
like new fighting games
and-
on a new console, or like, well, not the Xbox, but like we'll see. Because with the PlayStation 5, things are going to be able to carry over. PlayStation 5 is like it's backwards compatible for most of the fighting game titles, so it's going to be like this one central fighting game console, which is going to be awesome. And
Don't sell your PlayStation 3.
Don't sell your
Hold on.
PS3s.
You can get rid of your PlayStation 4.
Well, get rid of your PlayStation 4s once you have all of your titles carried over, because obviously it's not going to be an immediate thing. But ideally, like you're going to be able to take everything over, and then once new fighting games come out on the new console, that's going to be it's going to be sick. We do have to buy so many of those consoles. Well, tournament organizers are going to get bodied by these new consoles.
Actually, that's a perfect segue into another topic.
Oh, you know what?
We got new consoles coming out.
We got a new console coming out.
They just announced or recently announced that Wednesday is going to be the PS5 showcase. So
yep, they're going to do a showcase.
And this was in response to the double combo of Xbox being leaked, and then after being leaked, announcing their their two different consoles, complete with poverty trap. What do you call it? Plans. Payment plans.
What do you mean? Payment plans?
Yes.
Yeah.
Wait.
They're monthly installments now.
Monthly
for Xbox
installments,
Series
and it
X.
forces you to get Game Pass.
Yeah, I guess
you
that makes
cannot
sense,
just buy the console.
You're paying what
you
would.
will get Game Pass. You will pay $35 a month, but you will have an Xbox.
Yeah. Well, you
I think that it's a kind idea, but I also think that it's a trap.
So do you pay off the system and then get to keep it after 2 years, or do you have to re-up
Take it
after
back.
2 years?
No, it's yours.
Because
once you pay for it, it's
you're
yours.
basically buying a car.
So here's my thing. Like
$600.
coming from where I came from,
This has been stressed.
if you miss a payment, that can ruin you in those type of scenarios.
Yes,
like you got to read that
absolutely.
contract extremely carefully if you're going to do this, because they could have some
I'm going to tell you
insane
right now,
credit reporting.
they are not going to check your credit. They're going to let you do it, and they're going to ruin your life.
But what are they going to? Are they going to repo your Xbox?
They're going to
No, it's not about repoing. It's about what they can report to credit companies. Like you have to look and see. And if there's like it could be like, sign here, and if you miss a payment, you got to pay 100% interest rate every, for the rest of the 2 years. It could be
0%
wild.
APR. It did say that. But
what if you miss a payment though?
But that's my concern, is that if you make one mistake, where are you going to be at? Regardless, okay, all right, let me put my positivity glasses on. These are not exactly common.
For Xbox?
I don't often do this.
Yeah, I'm surprised that you even have a pair of those, but let's hear it.
Most of the time they're underneath my bed, and sometimes it's a little bright outside, so I put them on. But I think that Microsoft having a payment plan for a console during the pandemic is a really good idea. And I think it's really nice that they would do that. They also made a console that's very affordable. The new one's going to be $300.
For the lower spec one, yeah.
Well, yeah, but like you'll have an Xbox.
Yeah, I get
You'll
it.
be able to play games with your friends, which is a big deal. And then they have the beefy one. Whereas, when Sony does this, generally they'll roll out a console, then they'll roll out a cheaper one later. And the closest thing to an announcement we got for PlayStation 3 pricing shortly thereafter, PlayStation 5 pricing, was that they had like a $15,000 solid gold PlayStation 5 coming out. And I was like, maybe not that.
Yeah.
But Sony has also been
That's
on the
sick.
top of consoles for an entire generation now, and even then,
Generation and a half.
PlayStation 3 did end up outselling the 360 at the end of its life cycle. So they've actually been King Kong in this bitch forever. PlayStation 2 is the best-selling console of all time, is it not?
I think the Wii.
I think we still has a beat.
I might have to look that up. So I mean, they're doing fine, but they know that, so they really do have the ability to do whatever they want. But Xbox is actually legitimately trying to compete. I don't care, because everything they make is just purchasable on PC. And even before I had a PC, I
That's
still
not
said
true.
that.
That's not true.
Yes, it is.
Not
It is,
every
it is.
single Xbox game is also available on Games for Windows.
The ones that really matter.
The ones that matter.
The ones
yes.
that you care about, man. Like, that's a big
Yeah.
deal. How do you
But-
PC prices shot through the roof during the pandemic because everybody was buying that stuff. Everyone knows PC's the superior way. That's it. Like, we know that. It's the truth. That's just the way that it works.
No, it's
so
true.
people
It's
are
100% true.
buying PC stuff now. Why would you ever get an Xbox? And Sony's response to that is, we'll make exclusive games to make you actually have a reason for having a console. Also,
And
you don't want
then-
to lug around a PC.
And now they're like considering putting stuff on PC because they want to expand their community and profitability and stuff.
Yeah, and I
They
think
made
that's,
that tweet like a few days ago.
theoretically, that sounds really cool, but the Xbox fucking ecosystem is basically just
Because they
Games
did.
Pass users and people that hope that a new exclusive might exist ever.
Yeah,
which
because
it won't.
they did Death Stranding on PC, Horizon Zero Dawn on PC. I think that they're doing Bloodborne on PC too.
That's rumored, but
Oh, okay. And then like people are kind of just worried that Sony is going to continue on that trend of just bringing their exclusive titles
Well,
over to PC.
I
Because
mean,
that's- I
That
would
defeats the
say-
purpose of exclusives, you know, because this is what we're saying about
Not
Xbox
necessarily.
as a negative point, where it's just like everything on Xbox can be purchased on PC. Why get an Xbox? It's the same thing for PlayStation.
This is a different scenario in the sense that PlayStation 5, they're going, like, remember PlayStation 3, that stupid chip they put in there that made it impossible to develop for? So in my mind, what I think would happen is they go, yeah, this game's going to be a timed exclusive for this console, but they're going to do a good job on the port. Whereas most of the time for Xbox, it is simultaneous release. So they don't optimize the game. The game just comes out.
PC players just wait.
Yeah. But,
Anyway,
yeah,
they have a billion things to play. Like nobody cares.
here's the thing though, like consoles are still always going to be relevant because a lot of people don't have money to build a PC that can run at a console spec.
True.
Like, I'm just going to be straight up with
True.
you. Like
These are
True.
expensive.
that's so like consoles are always important. If we only switch to a PC gaming environment, like
I'm out.
that would be horrible.
I'm
Yeah.
out.
I'm out.
And
like
I'm on
hard
like
out.
the mid-level of PCs. I would
Yeah.
have a mid-level PC, and I think it cost me like $1,500.
The reason I say like I can afford a good PC. I'm not going to lie about that. But
Flux.
the reason that why I say that I'm out is because all the prices are going to just skyrocket.
Yeah.
Like if we went to
because-
PC only, everything would skyrocket.
Yeah, that's true.
And I think about it, perfect conversational segue, because we also have, I would consider this console discussion, but not console. NVIDIA is putting out new graphics cards.
Nvidia is putting out the 3070
The 3070, 3080.
For-
Yeah, the 30 series.
for
Yeah.
$399.
That is an incredibly affordable graphics card, and what little chance Xbox had to actually matter just got shot in the face.
I hope it's good. I hope it's a good card.
Got dragged
good card.
out back and murdered.
Yeah.
There are
Yeah.
so many features on that thing, and it's
Yeah.
super affordable.
It's so affordable, but it's like a little sus, you know?
Yeah,
It's gonna be
definitely
it's gonna be
sus.
really interesting to see what plays out in as far as like that the Xbox pricing and the PS5 pricing once we figure it out. PS5 I think is gonna be the most expensive and the least like value for your dollar. However, it's still PlayStation. They're gonna have, you know, fighting games exclusives. et
Yeah, it's like
cetera, et cetera.
Nintendo. Nintendo does it all the time, where they're like, we're gonna make a console that's below spec every time.
But
And
those,
we're gonna put out every banger ass game of a generation, and you're gonna pay for it.
the thing is, with Nintendo's consoles, they make magic of a console. The Switch, I do not understand how it works. The technology in a Switch is insanely good. I will always be perplexed.
For the size and what it is, absolutely.
Yeah. It's crazy. It's a powerhouse.
It is
As a phone. It's nuts.
I think my I don't know how this as far as consoles go, I don't know how this generation is going to go. It'll be interesting to see. I don't know, at least from the beginning, like with
No, I agree.
because it depends on
stressed.
Sony's pricing. I don't know. It to me, like,
$600,
I'm still not
$990
going to get an Xbox. I have no reason to get an Xbox.
Yeah. I don't see a reason to get an Xbox, especially on launch with Infinite being delayed. Like, there's no incentive for.
And then
Xbox
it's
on
going to be
launch.
delayed, and then you're going to get it on PC.
Mighty
anyway.
Keith was very upset, dude. But
Yo, that Mighty Keith video was
Yo,
legendary.
that was
yo.
hidden.
it was pretty good.
Man, it's always funny to make fun of Xbox because they just keep fucking it up. But
Just
I
keep
do
doing it.
genuinely feel bad for Halo players that are looking forward to a bad-looking new Halo game.
That's the weird thing about it, because they're saying it's an open world Halo, which you already are checked out. But I was justifying its visuals based on its scope, right? I was just like, oh, it probably looks like an Xbox 360 game because it's massive.
But it looks like an Xbox 360 game
But it looks
two
like a-
generations later.
Yeah.
Like, come on, man. Do you remember the PlayStation 2 to the PlayStation 3? I showed that to my mom. She's like, are we watching a movie?
That was my thought, because I was just like, oh yeah, maybe it's because it's, it's huge. But then I was just like, well, they could at least still, it's a fucking next gen console. They could still make it like PlayStation 4 or Xbox One visuals, but have this
Did you
crazy
see
grand scope.
I
We'll
think
see.
the Brute's face is
Yeah, that
equivalent
was the
to
one.
Chun-Li's
That was the
face
one.
for MVCI.
That was the one. Yeah,
That was
exactly.
the one.
It was
that
the
was
one,
the one that was like, whew,
Yeah.
man.
the one one screenshot that shot all the fans, so it's pretty fun.
Yeah.
Shouts to Aaron in the chat real quick.
What up, Arrow? But we'll see how it goes. I think that I'm curious. Wednesday will tell a lot, so
Yeah.
we'll have more to talk about next Saturday.
I am
But
waiting.
Dude, can you imagine?
I am
Yeah.
waiting because when Dan said there's an announcement for PlayStation on Wednesday, that's the first time I've heard it. I haven't been on Twitter it's been days
Yeah.
because of busyness. So I just haven't. So I miss news. And this is why I listen to 10 hours of podcasts a day at my job.
So it's
Despite
like
the fact that they told me to stop wearing headphones while I'm working.
anyhow, we're gonna be moving on.
yeah.
Or Dom incriminates himself anymore.
What are they going to do? Fire me?
Well,
Oh, that's possible.
No,
we're
I'll let
going
next show.
to speaking of what's in the future and coming up soon. We do have Arc Revo Midwest.
Yes.
That is available to sign up for. There's a 128 player cap at the moment. So if you haven't signed up for that and do plan on playing in the Midwest, make sure you do sign up for that. LKO will be helping produce that, so I'm super excited about that.
Low kick.
Yeah, okay.
Low kick, sorry. I think that's one of the things that I'm probably the most excited for. Shout outs to one particular Dave, who, aka Dr. Delish, who is the man when it comes
responsible,
to business relations. Like, Dave is a beast. And also shout outs to Arxis, for putting trust in us. That
Big
is
shout-outs.
that is a
Thank you.
huge amount of trust. So thank you
Yeah.
for that.
Thank you,
I'm
Arxis.
super
Shout outs
excited
to
to
the
do
Hado
my
for
best.
the booster seat on that because I heard that
Actually, yes.
he held it down
Yeah.
and he told them that we could do it. And that's a big deal. Also,
Yeah.
double shout outs to the Hado and also condolences to the Hado. I heard his dog is not doing so well.
Yes.
But he sent us a gift.
I'm
really
wearing
did.
this gift.
He
Yeah.
sent the low kick staff a gift.
Yeah.
And it was really
So-
nice of him. And we still have to send him something back.
Thanks.
Yeah, Lord Rick, you've been just a super awesome supporter of us in general, and it means a lot. Putting your faith in us means a lot. So we will not let you down when it comes to Arc Revo, and our condolences for sure. But be on the lookout for something special from us in
This hat is
the near
sick.
future. And yeah, of course, I mean, goes without saying, Combo Breaker merchandise is just next level stuff. So I will post the link up to Arc Revo in chat. I'm looking forward actively on Smash GG. But any closing statements? What are you guys going to be up to the coming week? Oh, wait, you know what? I'll on mine. I will talk about Mban because I have not spoken about that at all.
Yeah,
give me 5.
Yeah, I was gonna wait. Give me 5. What?
Give me 5. Just let me get 5. This is something that before people forget this happened, I want to discuss openly and publicly. Do you remember? It was that fateful week last week when Icy Chains tweeted, "Hey, it'd be really nice if I didn't have to mute the stream when Necromaster is commentating."
Oh man.
Do you remember that?
I definitely do.
That was the most garbage bullshit I have ever fucking seen in my life and Soul Calibur community. There is a reason I don't talk to you, I just play the game. Because y'all are some assholes. What the hell was that? Oh yeah, just his reasoning. I'm gonna give you the reasoning and then I'm gonna explain to you why he's an idiot, okay? His reasoning was, I'm gonna pick on someone. And then everyone's going to get upset that I did it publicly. So they're going to discuss the topic that I chose to brought up. Instead, I proceeded to read that thread and call him an asshole in public. Because for some reason, he thought it'd be okay to smear the name of someone who's actually good at doing something he cannot do. If you've ever interacted with the Soul Calibur 6 community in any way, you would be well aware that 90% of them are very awkward and not well spoken. There are a couple people who are, and the complaint was that commentary was very weak, but the problem is that that's a problem indicative across the board, and they say that their talented commentators are these people, and they listed them. They're all from the same place, they all know each other, they're all very close friends, but all of them suck at commentary. I'm just saying it now. All of them have no talent. They're super bad.
I think that with so NT mentioned something in the chat saying the East Coast Soul Calibur community lives in their own bubble. I think that it's kind of indicative, or that's representative of a lot of communities where it's like you have this very vocal part of the community that's really negative, you know, like there's really, really negative opinions that kind of circulate and then that spirals, you know, like we always make fun of the NRS community for like bits and pieces here and there, but they're not a bad community. You know, they're not weird. They have really bad eggs here and there, but that's not a bad community. Capcom even, you know, Tekken too. Like everybody just complains about certain things, but that's not indicative of how the entire community feels about it. It's just that when there's a topic for them to talk about or to complain about, then that shouldn't represent everybody in that community. That shouldn't represent as a community as a whole. That's just a problem that they have to deal with. That's just a problem that everybody kind of needs to band together and address. So I think that with Icy Change coming out with an issue like that, with a complaint like that, I think that that is what the community kind of needs to come together on and address and understand, so that way it's not looking like from the outside perspective, oh yeah, they're elitists and they're weird and they're
because
just
they
complaining.
Are elitist and they are weird.
But that's like
and
the
like
small
we
part,
know that.
the
We
small
know
minority, like the vocal minority. And that's with every community, with everything.
My thing is this: as someone who you know, actively commentates and wants to see people get into commentary who want to, and to encourage that type of public attack like that is not cool.
Mm-hmm.
And he actively said, I don't want new people to get into commentary. Yeah. I want our old people. And it's like, who is your old people? And then I saw that list and I was like, oh, they're bad. They're bad and you don't know what good commentary is because you have no talent.
That's the thing. Like, the fact that you're saying, I don't want new X involved, and then he revised that later on and said, well, I don't want, you know, new X doing this type of event. And my whole thing is this: if the commentary pool is small, you're going to get new people who are on larger events because there's not that big of a pool. So let them have their chance. Let them learn from that scenario. Mm-hmm. Don't sit there and just lambast them when they're new. That's not a constructive way to do it. And if you have the opinion of, okay, well, I'm cool with like burning everything down and then having discussion, then you have an issue and you need to figure out a better way to constructively criticize new people. Otherwise, you're going to push people away from your game, regardless of the fact of if they're trying to commentate or not. Because they're going to look at you and say, wow, damn, if that's the response that someone gives for being new at something, then I don't think I want to participate in this. So you can feel like, oh, we don't need new people. If you feel like you don't need new people in your game, then that's a foolish standpoint.
Yeah, enjoy playing a dead game. Enjoy killing a game.
Yeah.
And I'm going to point this out right now because this is my game. This is the game I care about the most. The commentators for Soul Calibur 6 at a professional Bandai Namco approved level, almost none of them play the game. And the discussion that has happened in private on more than one occasion, because I've spoken to top players in regards to this for months, is that those commentators don't play the game actively, and they don't like the fact that they don't. And they said every single one of them. If you've seen them on a screen, if you watch them at Bud Light League, if you have seen them at some major tournament, all of them have their flaws because either they don't play or they're just not that great at doing it. But they are better talented commentators in every way than anyone they will ever have provided. Because all they want is for their friends to sound like they rip bongs and talk about a game for 2 hours. And their friends suck. Their friends have no talent. I will challenge you to ever tell me that you did to what you did to Necromaster, to Alicia, to Ebonic Plague, to Katana Prime, to James Chen, to Markman. You let me know when you have the confidence in your commentators that you listed to say that they have more talent than those individuals who have been doing it for years, with the exception of Elisa, who has definitely improved monumentally over every single person you have listed. East Coast commentary for Soul Calibur 6 is some of the most dry, garbage commentary I've ever heard in my fucking life, and I mute it every time. So if you dare challenge those individuals and drag them into a conversation like you did Necromaster, you let me know. Because you won't. You're cowards, you're bitches, and you're bad. And if you continue on this behavior publicly, let it be known that you will be playing Soul Calibur 6 with 7 people for the rest of your lives, and it will suck forever. Have fun.
This has been the EX Saturdays podcast.
I said give me 5.
I just want to thank you for your listening. This is sponsored by Arc.
I stand behind that from a commentary standpoint, because if you're gonna be like that for one person, you need to do that for everyone. Like, if that's how you're gonna be, then don't just pick one person to do it. Like, if you're gonna go ahead and do that, then do it. Then call them out. Every single one of them, call them out that you have an issue with, because otherwise you're just really just taking aim at someone you think is easy pickings and then firing off. So
who would argue with you back, because I mean, respect, right? It's like, these players are good. They know what they're talking. They don't know what they're talking about, dude. They suck.
Yeah.
Don't
let them push you around, bully you like that, dude.
Their attitude sucks.
Yeah. Oh, respect to Necromaster, because number one, let me tell you something. When I first got into commentary, I was super nervous. And that was when the game was new. You know, I tried to drink up every bit of Dragon Ball that I could, because I didn't know much about the game. It was new, and I was new on commentary.
Yep.
Talk to Necromaster about Soul Calibur 6. He can literally go for hours. Like, it's damn 9 to 5.
I talked to him for 2 hours about one matchup.
That's what I'm saying.
After he did commentary with me.
So
in NT.
I was talking to Necromaster about Soul Calibur 6 at Frosty's for like an hour while we were just watching pools together. So don't give me this shit about him not knowing the game. Like, for real. And anyhow, Dom said it best. I'm not going to jump back on that boat. Seth, do you have anything to wrap up with? Anything you're going to be doing this week, or closing statements?
Doing this week, playing Final Fantasy 14. No, I'm really excited to not only get my stuff done in Final Fantasy 14, but I'm gonna be checking out Spexel with Dan. I know that later today we have New Type Academy stuff, I think.
Yeah.
So I didn't get pinged for that, but I'm going to be tuning into that, because that's still a fighting game that I'm really actively trying to learn. I haven't had a lot of time to put into it lately, just because of busyness and having a crippling addiction. But that is, like, probably in terms of development and actively practicing a game, that's like my second. So because it's new, because it's like I'm trying to translate certain fighting game terminology and knowledge to that, Also, Gundam is sick. So I'm hoping that the new type academy is going to ever develop, and that's pretty much all that's I'm going to be tackling in recent future, at least.
Cool. For me, obviously, I didn't bring up Mba in this whole discussion because I could talk for hours about it, but Gundam Extreme versus Maxi Boost on name is long as hell. Don't know why. It's a great game. It's extremely fun. It's a 2v2 Gundam arena fighter type of thing. I don't know what type of game to put it in, but it's very deep. The input ceiling is extremely low, but like the actual application is really high. There's a little thing called New Type Academy that I've been taking part in that's about bringing new people into the game, or just beginners in general, and intermediate level players, and just really breaking the game down through the mechanics. We have a flight school session every 3 weeks. The next one will be next week. Signups will go up for that this week. Check out the Twitter. There's a Extreme versus Reddit as well. But today at 5:30 Central, I'll be hosting a beginner intermediate lobby. So if you're not in the Discord for Mbon, go ahead and check the Twitter account. It should be there. It's an extremely good game, and it's a good time. So definitely check that out. Like if you even like Gundam a little bit, just check it out. There are tons of suits in there. There's like 186 or something like that, something ridiculous. So
they've got Visalis.
It's got almost all of them that you would like. So check that out. We're going to be doing that. I definitely will be playing more of that. I've been playing it at least, a couple times a week since it came out. And yeah, it's been really good. I'll probably talk more on it next Saturday, give it its own time and space. But yeah, I've been having a big blast with that. Outside of that, obviously Wednesday, we're going to be picking up with episode 4 of Batman: The Enemy Within. That'll be on my stream, twitch.tv/BLM Dynamite. And if you want to hit up my Twitters, it is also at BLM Dynamite. Seth, you want to give your links?
Oh, yeah,
your
sure.
Socials.
If you want to listen to me be completely silent on almost every day on Twitter, all I do is just like retweet trends and art and stuff like that. You can follow me on twitter.com/Seth Mitchell. That is my name. And if you want to ever tune into my stream, I only really stream 2 to 3 days a week due to work stuff.
Crippling addiction, Final Fantasy.
Work stuff. So I stream every Monday. I missed last Monday just because I was busy with stuff, but I stream Gundam every Monday. Just me practicing it. I stream LKO pretty much almost every Friday, and if I'm not streaming it on a Friday, then I'm streaming something else. And then Saturdays are kind of up in the air. I might stream later on today, so if you want, you can check out my Twitch at twitch.tv/Seth Mitchell.
Ham?
Okay, so I've kind of been out of the streaming game for a minute. I did stream Final Fantasy 14 last week as a reminder that I do exist. Probably should do more of that, but you can find me on Twitch at twitch.tv/LKHamJams. And you can find me on Twitter at HamHarder, where I fight against the tyranny that is the East Coast Soul Calibur 6 community.
Yo, Ham versus the evil tyranny. He's like Guts in Berserk.
Yeah, there's no winning. You don't win against them. They'll just tell you that you're irrelevant, and then you'll stop existing. That's okay, man. You know what? I don't give a shit. I get to fight you all day. And when the next major tournament comes around and I'm on commentary, I'm going to tell them you guys suck again. I'm rooting for France.
I love my community.
That's been it for EX Saturdays this week. We'll be back next week, 12 p.m. CST. Thanks to everyone who jumped back in. I know we've been gone for a while, but we're going to return back to a regular cadence and get things rolling again. So until then, make sure you are wonderful to one another. Stay safe out there, and we'll see you next time. Peace and love.
Peace, everybody.